Welcome to Tours at 10. I'm Jamie Franklin, curator here at the Bennington Museum, and I'm very pleased to be here in our Peresky Education Wing with Jay Stoner Blackwell. Jay is in the process of working on an exhibition, or rather we are in the process of working on an exhibition that will be opening here in the Peresky Education Center here at the museum on April 2nd. It was delayed by the pandemic. And in fact, Jay, you had approached me maybe 2 years ago about this idea of doing an installation, an exhibition here at the museum featuring your NEVERUSES. And we have behind you a really wonderful example, a kind of sculptural installation of a group of your NEVERUSES. Can you just give us a little bit of background about what are NEVERUSES and your practice as an artist? And then we'll kind of give a quick tour of the installation that we're working on, and particularly the site-specific work that you're producing, NEVERUSES Beyonder, and a little bit about your process.
Great, thank you so much, Jamie. This has just been such a wonderful experience to work here in the museum. So yes, as Jamie mentioned, I had a conversation where I proposed an exhibition a couple of years ago because Vermont was in the process of passing a new legislation banning the use of disposable packaging, single-use packaging, sorry. And single-use packaging has been an interest of mine for a very long time, particularly plastic bags. Plastic bags are something that I have been working with as an art material since 2004. And basically I'm really interested in the ways in which plastic bags can be repurposed. So here, in this piece, which is called NEVERUSES à table, which is a French term meaning come to the table, you have these embroidered plastic bags which are positioned around a table as if they are sharing a meal together, but the tables have been turned upside down. So the legs of the table become the supports for the actual pieces. And these are two tables, both of which are based on shaker designs, a tripod table and a refectory table. The pieces themselves are heavily embroidered, using a lot of different techniques, a lot of different kinds of yarn, everything from acrylic fiber to paper to metallic threads. And these objects are intended to kind of be both a way to kind of rectify the excess of plastic that we have in the world, and also to make something which in some way kind of brings that plastic back to public view in a way that can be enjoyed.
You know, and I should mention, Jay, you teach painting at Bennington College, and you often refer to these as paintings. They're kind of, you also refer to them as kind of androgynous objects. They're, sculptural, but they're very much about the kind of surface. And can you talk a little bit about that idea of these objects as paintings and your kind of approach to them as an artist?
Sure. So, yes, Jamie mentioned I teach painting and drawing at Bennington College. I'm also an alum of Bennington, and I studied painting at Bennington. So that's kind of my history, is working particularly with oil paint. But what I like about the relationship between the plastic bag and paint itself as a material is they share a sort of chemical relationship. So both acrylic bags and acrylic paint are essentially a form of plastic. And so the two mediums of the plastic bag and painting are joined in that way. But furthermore, also because these are decorated bags, their surfaces have various patterns which are applied to them. I see them as a kind of surrogate for the painting surface, right? This is a painting, it just happens to be a slightly different shape than what you might normally expect.
So, and I thought today we are in the process of installing, in addition to this piece, which is kind of an example, a sculptural installation of some of Jay's NEVERUSES, we have a site-specific installation. We want to look a little bit about your process and how you go about making this. And we're also installing some historic objects. So you see Paul Feely, who is a painter and a sculptor in some cases. This is a Feely sculpture. So objects that relate to and provide context for Jay's work. But why don't we move our way into this space where you have been working on this site-specific object here, currently on the floor, will eventually be hanging from the ceiling. You can see there are literally hundreds of single-use plastic bags which you have then embroidered together. Maybe give us a little bit of kind of background on just the piece itself, but also the process, particularly. Like, how are you making this object?
Right. So this begins with a bag just like this. Most of these bags are collected from here in town, in Bennington. This bag is then ironed so that the two sides are melted together, and that makes the bag a little bit stronger so that when you poke it with the needle, it doesn't rip. Okay. Then the bags, after being ironed, melted a little bit, then they're sewn together here with this acrylic yarn to make a kind of a mesh or a curtain or some sort of a network. Those are all images that I'm really interested in. And eventually, after joining them with the acrylic yarn, the whole thing will be suspended from the ceiling. Okay?
Excellent. Well, I think I am so excited to just see this happen. I can't wait till April 2nd, where we can share it with our visitors. But thank you for kind of giving us a little bit of background on your kind of creative process. Everybody, please come and visit us in April when we reopen to the public, and you can experience Jay's work in person. It really needs to be seen to be really experienced in full. So thank you for joining us for today's tour at 10, and we'll see you again next week.